There was one boy, and we started exchanging mails, and one day he just sent me a link of this short film, which is there in the credits of Andhadhun. It's an 11-minute film actually, which I loved, and I said, okay, what if we expand on this? So we started that work, okay, what happens if this story, the film ends at a very dramatic, beautiful point, but what happens if suppose the film had continued, kind of thing. And so we started trying to write what happens and where it goes and so on.
अंधा होने की प्रॉब्लम्स तो सबको पता है, फायदा मैं बताता हूँ.
Basically, the pivot of the film is that one scene which I had, which came to me immediately after I saw the short film. Imagine a guy playing the piano when there is all kinds of, somebody is cleaning up a murder, kind of thing. So this was so exciting for me. It's almost like it's not background music, it's foreground music. Somebody is like there actually giving you music when some crazy stuff is happening. So that was my main take-off point, and then we said from here we'll go behind till this point and what happens next sort of thing, which there was no story, so we had to just keep inventing and trying various options, like what happens after this. I think the moment you get excited about an idea, then there is no stopping. Then you all discipline, you wake up early, everything happens. You have to be excited enough, so. In Andhadhun, I remember, that time the rabbit was not there. But I just, we used to discuss, and I said, the first scene has to be this guy playing for a long time, so that the audience is convinced that he can play the piano. मतलब ऊपर नीचे सब camera angles होगा, उसका हाथ दिखेगा, आंख तो अंधा है तभी. So that actually we have a 90-second scene of him just playing. The cat comes in and does all that beautiful things. It's superb. But I'm saying that is to prepare the viewer कि बस इस फिल्म में बहुत piano बजने वाला है और जो ऐसा बोले.
Yes, in fact, one of the other things that we got from people who heard the story or saw part of the edit was also कि 10 minute में murder पे आ जाओ.
Yeah, that was the.
Everybody kept saying that. You're taking too long. What's going on? कुछ नहीं है. गाने हैं. मिलता है. What's and we go into the murder now. I think at about the 25th odd minute.
At least 50 to 100 people.
At least everybody used to say your film begins there. Why are you spending so much time? Everyone wanted it to be set up in 10 minutes. रखो, आपको जो अच्छा लगता है वो रखो, but 10 मिनट में करो.
So we listened to everybody, then eventually we felt नहीं यार आप जैसा है वैसा ही. Few people, 1-2 people.
No, even I was saying that.
Few people were okay with the setup.
I told she was a little bit more scientific. I said 17th minute का तक ये चलेगा. After 17th minute it can become a little boring. So anyway.
Yes.
आपकी आवाज वो एक्टर प्रमोद सिन्हा से मिलती है क्या?
प्रमोद सिन्हा को तुम जानते हो?
I don't know. It's not that I don't believe in Act 1, Act 2 and all. It's just that I don't keep that as, sometimes वो अच्छा यहाँ तक आ जाना चाहिए Act 1, यहाँ तक inciting incident. I don't like those words. कहानी में तो होता ही है सब. A lot of times what happens, the initial thoughts that come to you are the worst, so because you're taking it all from stuff you have already seen. So the initial thing was, okay, obviously this guy he's not blind, so the cop will find out, the girl will find out, they'll try to kill him and he will escape and eventually justice will be served. This is so boring, so we have to break that. Then what to do? Like I said, all these things came bit by bit. Nothing, the film didn't was not written at one go. It was like, it was getting evolved and getting better over the days we were shooting it. So this is a very important part of it, and initially a lot of people were wondering why we kept keeping this her breakdown in this scene, but that was essential, so to say, because she's not like, it's not a pre-planned murder, and she's not a villain, so to say, and she's just, all that, the pretense is over, and she's just one shot, the camera just watching her and इवन हमको भी पता नहीं था कि सेकेंड हाफ में क्या होने वाला है एक पॉइंट के बाद. बहुत से लोग बोलते हैं कि सेकेंड हाफ में अच्छी यहाँ वहाँ चला गया फिल्म. हमने बाकी सब ट्राई किया है. What if the idea of him going blind was something which came in after about 2-3 months of trying various options. And suddenly that seemed the most obvious thing. You know, a guy who's pretending to be blind is actually has gone blind. And now what happens? हमने ये भी ट्राई किया कि मतलब वो दानी लड़की है, उसकी 18 बर्थडे होने वाला है, जायदाद उसके नाम पे जाने वाला है, इस टाइप की चीजें जो मतलब
कि हीरो उसको सेव करने के लिए सब करता है and so on.
ये भी था.
No, but overall, as we went through, what emerged is that two things. That number one, what the characters are planning will never happen. I mean, that was sort of became a given. And what the audience are expecting also, we should see that also doesn't happen. That slowly came. So the hero is not a hero who's trying to get back and correct things. He's on his way. He's trying to run away. But also at the same time, we cannot end the story with a super that he got a bus, he went to Chennai, and after that he is now playing in Radhakrishna bar, and that's it. So the story has to take its own turn so that the karma also ends up. So that was very, very difficult. And especially when we are trying to see that it must not happen in such a way somebody can expect. That means we are also expecting. So that means whole sort of spring cleaning. Whatever anybody is saying is that, hey boss, you have told, that's why it is out. So I mean, where do you go from here? So but finally when everything is cleaned, then we are waiting for the dot thing. And that was, especially that part was about 8-9 months. Yeah. That particular journey.
Simi, are you alright? Simi!
It was a staircase actually. When जब Mrs. Rita को push करती है ना, तो it was meant to be an old European style architecture house, you know, जिसमें वो ये ऊपर चढ़ के आ रहा है, वो देखता है कि कुछ कोई नीचे आ रहा है, and he looks down and looks up. By then Tabu has moved away, you know. And उसके बाद सीन था कि वो she knows ये सारा अंधा नहीं है अभी, तो जैसा वो तो अंधे का एक्टिंग करके आ रहा है, and वो खड़ी भी है वहाँ पे, and he is still acting, and suddenly without his knowledge she pushes him also, and he also falls, and in that fall he goes blind. ये भी एक वर्जन था. इसके बाद क्या होगा? What we were clear about कि second half cannot be कि a regular guy running. Oh, it is not a hero story like you said.
Or a blind guy coming back for revenge.
We were sure
that
he's
also
going to go
didn't.
blind, but how does he go blind was a big thing. Then one more I had, which was I'm just saying it because it may be useful to just look at that bin and see what all was there. एक और था कि मतलब she realizes कि this man is not blind. She tells the cop, यार ये अंधा नहीं है, तू मतलब मार दो, खत्म कर दो उसको. And that cop says कि no problem, and this guy is walking, अंधे जैसा walk कर रहा है, and some truck or something is coming, and somebody is trying to kill him. And he realizes कि मैं गया अभी काम से, you know, and in that what happens, he finally faints, and he gets hysterical blindness. मतलब out of that shock and fear, he's gone blind. So I remember at that time this was going to be done with tips, so I told Ramesh Tarani this. वो तो किसी को समझ में नहीं आएगा, तो मैंने वही ड्रॉप कर दिया. मतलब मैं एकदम उम्मीद के साथ गया था रिक्शा में.
Eventually the choice that she blinds him.
Yeah, that
became
that's all come out of just having all these versions and talking about them till you don't have anything more to say.
अरे तो बेवकूफ आदमी क्या प्लान है तुम्हारा?
Also because I think there was no intent from Shriram side, the writer's side or anybody to have like a hero or a heroine or the villain, you know.
the way that we know them.
Yeah, everybody is doing what they think is right for them at that given point of time. We are not setting out to make villains and heroes, and definitely not caricatures out of people and out of characters.
I mean, how many of us are heroes here? I mean, we don't know, no? I mean, a certain situation may make you a hero, or our man actually is, I would define him as he's a good musician, trying to be better, and he's a bit of a coward. He could have gone to another police station, and he could have done all that. So, he's a bit of a coward, he's more into self-preservation and all that. And the last thing also, he's actually been spectacularly lucky, you know, that, like, I was also thinking to myself, like, suppose there's a dog, shady dog who tells me 2 days back is trying to harvest my kidneys. Today is telling me I'll give you money, I'll do all this. Would I believe him when I'm blind? I don't even know what he looks like, you know. Others, at least I know what they look like because I've seen them once. This guy, he doesn't know them. He's met them after he's gone blind. So I don't think he was a hero at all. But of course, he's a leading man. So we sort of confuse leading man with hero, you know.
बिस्किट्स ले आता हूँ.
That's it. मुझे मालूम था. बंद करो ये नाटक.
We know what is going to happen. Suppose this is going to happen. Now, the last day shoot is over. In the evening, we'll gather. So, Shriram will say, okay, we know this is what we are going to shoot, but we have got a couple of hours in hand. We are having this drink. can we have something which will add to this scene? I mean, which was not scripted, which we'll try to find out. If we don't find out, it's good. But what happens? Odd beginnings come out, some quirks come out which was not there. So, I mean, these
I
sense
think-
of openness, sometimes people
it's
get
a
very,
willingness to not
jittery.
think of it as already good.
Yeah.
It's the ability to say, "Acha, can we better it? Can we better it?" And it's a phenomenal thing which I think that all writers should learn. It's a learning process. When Shriram has it in dollops. We're all learning. What I mean by that is, you still have to go home and put your thoughts down on paper, and I don't do it as much. Like Shriram is extremely her rose, he will write and he'll put it all down, and then the next day it'll be on paper, and we are I'm a little bit lazier than that. So it's I find the collaborative writing easier actually. I just feel that I don't think everyone is self-aware all the time. I don't think that you're, sitting here today and you know what kind of story you want to make, or you know what kind of characters will interest you. I think it's a process, and it's a process that you have to be invested in. You have to read books or see movies or talk to people or get a life. I don't think it's about your ambition can't be that I'm writing a script so that it gets produced.
The thing is, because there were four of us brainstorming on the end what it should be, like my editor and co-writer Pooja very strongly felt that in the end he should be blind. I mean, he should be blind because what the hell, you can't suddenly get your eyes back, and it's and he's okay. He's a great musician, but he's a blind musician. What he wanted to do and what he's achieved his dream, but at a price. That was her, and which made sense in a certain way. The others, a couple of them said, no way. I mean, he has to. What has he done? So he has to get his eyes back. And both of them were creating a certain kind of, I was not. If I define it, it kind of reduces the thing, So I think the way we saw it was, there are two possible things. One is he's really blind. The other one is the last part is made up. I mean, the rabbit doesn't exist, and so on. Which is what, I mean, in my head was the thought process, which is why there's a certain cut at some point. There is a rabbit stick and so on. So it is like he has done something horrible, after which when he meets his old girlfriend, he wants to paint himself as the victim and Tabu as the villain, whereas it could well be the other way around. It could well be that he's done the horrible thing of participating in that organ harvesting and taking some money